How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, this is a story in the Liverpool Echo. The headline reads, "This is what it's like spending Christmas in prison." And the lady that I've just quoted about the Styal prison situation, who left Styal after nearly 11 years, she's also quoted in this story as well. She says, you wake up to not being with your family and no presents. It's quite heartbreaking, really. For most people, Christmas is a day spent unwrapping presents, visiting loved ones and tucking into turkey and all the trimmings. But what is it like spending the day behind bars? No presents, no family and a school Christmas dinner is what prisoners across Merseyside will be waking up to on Christmas morning. We spoke to one former prisoner who has spent nearly 11 years behind bars at HMP Styal about the reality of spending Christmas Day in prison. She was handed a 20-year sentence for a conviction she is still fighting to this day. And was asked not to be named to protect her family's privacy. This is what it's like spending Christmas in prison, in the words of a woman who experiences a decade of them behind bars. Speaking to the Echo, the former prisoner said the most difficult aspect of being locked up on Christmas Day is not being able to see your family. While everyone else is enjoying a day surrounded by loved ones and spending time with their family, prisoners at HMP Styal are not allowed visits. She said there is no visits on Christmas Day, so you can never see your family on Christmas Day. It's pretty much like that. You try to make it better than a normal day, but the overriding thing is that you are away from your family. You wake up not being with them, no presents. It's quite heartbreaking, really, especially for the girls with the kids. They can come up on Christmas Eve, which can be quite upsetting, really. Despite the sombre and bleak reality of waking up in prison on Christmas morning, she said prisoners and staff tried to make the best of the best to make their day bearable, with festive decorations and changes to the usual routine. She said people do try. People decorate the room in a way that there will be a Christmas tree on the wing or around the houses. They try and order a few extra bits in the canteen. You watch a Christmas film. They do try and make the best they can. Convicted criminals can't look forward to opening presents on Christmas Day, but some inmates do get sent parcels by loved ones on the outside. While this can be something to look forward to, the restrictions on what can be sent in, with sweets, chocolates and toiletries, all banned. The former prisoner we spoke to said, you can get parcels, you're only allowed a set amount each year. They send you clothes in over Christmas or things out of the things that you were allowed. You were not allowed toiletries sent in. You have to buy them on the inside. Whilst most people can look forward to a roast dinner with all the trimmings, the menu in HMP Styal is a seriously watered down version of the standard festive feast. Describing the food offerings as something akin to a school dinner, the prisoner we spoke to said it's incomparable to what most people enjoy on the outside. She said, you do get a turkey dinner, the Salvation Army come to visit and play some Christmas carols. They would have special services in the church and Christmas service in the chapel. I think the girls who were there for a long time tried to make the best of it, but if you are new, it's quite harrowing. They just try and get through it if they've got a short sentence. She added the staff in the prison do try and make it a little bit better. It's just something you want to get through. While spending your Christmas behind bars is a grim reality for some prisoners, the Echo's anonymous former prisoner said it's even harder for their families. She said, I think Christmas is worse for the people on the outside, for your family, because they can't celebrate and they feel guilty. You can ring your family all day and you're phoning them and you know what they are doing, but there's a shadow over them as well. The sense of loss that you have all year round is much worse because it's Christmas, and the sense of loneliness, as well as a lot of people don't get visits from family. After nearly 11 years behind bars and a decade of Christmases spent separated from her family, the ex-inmate we spoke to said her first festive period on the outside was fabulous. Having missed out on most of the things that most of us take for granted, she said, getting to celebrate with your loved ones felt a million times better once she was released. Even the minor annoyances that most people moan about over the Christmas period felt like a gift in the years after release. She said, every day is like Christmas when you come out. It's nice to have a queue in Asda and struggle to get presents when you come out. Now, like I say, guys, that is the reality. That is the reality, and I can't disagree with any of the comments she's made. Apart from in Forest Bank, I'm pretty sure you can have visits on Christmas Day. But like I say, guys, what it differs from male prisons to female prisons, from different category prisons to other category prisons. But the reality is, like I say, guys, Christmas is a massive punishment. And I touch on it by saying, like, those prisoners' families on the outside who are riding that roller coaster with a prisoner. Prison is a roller coaster like nothing else you'll ever experience. The highs, the lows, the ups, the downs. When your loved one's up in prison, you're up. When they're down, you're down. When it comes to Christmas, they're laying the table or they're going out for a meal and there's a seat free because their loved one's in prison and they're celebrating and stuff. But your thoughts, if you're the prisoners' families, your thoughts are never far from your loved one. Your loved one in prison's thoughts are never far from you. You're trying to make the best of a bad situation. And then you've got children in the mix as well, young children, which is quite sad, to be honest, when you think about it. Like, each Christmas and birthday that the father or the mother, because we've got female offenders, are not there for their loved one because they're indeed in prison. Quite sad and upsetting when you think about it. Yes, we know right from wrong. Yes, we've committed crime for the most part, but people don't see the root cause of offending. And there's a high percentage of children who if they've got a father in prison, there's a high, I can't remember the exact percentage, but there's a high percentage that go on to might be in prison themselves. So that seeing their loved one in prison, they end up in prison themselves as they get older, which is that's a harsh reality, guys. But Christmas in prison is a depressing time. If you're in a Cat A, you're going to be locked up 22, 23 hours a day. I was in Forest Bank at Christmas, and it was great. It was a 4-day weekend, so we had 5-6 hours of social every day. But I was a cleaner, so I was allowed that anyway. Yeah, man. Just don't take your liberty for granted. Don't take your freedom for granted. Don't take your loved ones for granted, because life is a very short and fragile thing, guys. Make the best of a bad situation. You're rich by what you have, not what you haven't got. And people strive because they want bigger and better. Be happy with what you've got, guys, because let me tell you, there's a lot of people in a lot worse position. And don't ever be arrogant enough if you are involved in crime that you'll never end up in prison, because you will. Eventually, you will. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.